All right, let's talk about something that so many competitive gamers get wrong. What a support player actually does. We're going to dig into the real math, explore why that huge healing number on the scoreboard might just be a total lie, and uncover the hidden stats that actually, win games. You've all seen it, right? The match ends, the stat screen pops up, and some guy in chat is like, "Look at my heals, 6 million!" It's that classic boast that makes you think, wow, okay, that person must have carried us. But hang on a second. We really need to ask, does that giant number actually mean they were being effective? I mean, were they making clutch saves when it mattered? Or were they just, padding their stats by patching up little scrapes in a fight that was already going nowhere? Let's find out. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to expose what I call the scoreboard lie. Then we're going to build a winning defense from the ground up, looking at mitigation, then shields, and finally the real math behind healing. And at the end, we'll pull it all together into one unified strategy. First up, let's tackle the biggest trap for any support player out there, that post-game scoreboard. Yeah, it feels great to see your name at the top, but trust me, those numbers can be seriously misleading. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. A massive healing number doesn't always mean you were the hero. A lot of the time, it just means your team was taking a ton of annoying non-lethal chip damage. You were basically just patching up scratches, not preventing a knockout blow. So the real key here is to completely shift your mindset from raw healing to effective healing. Just forget the total number for a second. The only question that matters is, did my actions help us win the important team fights? That right there is the only metric that really tells you if you did a good job. Okay, so now let's build the foundation of a real defensive strategy, mitigation. Because before we even think about healing, we need to talk about stopping damage before it ever even lands. This is the first rule of being an effective support player, mitigation. We're talking about your armor, your resistances, anything that just straight up reduces incoming damage. So your main goal isn't just to heal damage, it's to make that damage feel like a paper cut from the very start. And this little piece of wisdom is absolutely critical. Some stats, they start giving you less and less value the more you stack them. Not armor and resistances. They provide pure, unfiltered value. Stacking them high just means every single point of health you have is worth way more, because it takes so much more damage to actually bring it down. Okay, so we've got our foundation built with high mitigation. Now, let's add the next layer, the awesome proactive tool that is the damage shield. Shields are your proactive weapon. Think of them like preemptive healing. You see a huge attack coming, like a sniper shot or a big ultimate ability, and you just throw up this temporary, sacrificial health bar to eat the hit. It's all about negating that burst damage before it ever even touches your teammate's real health. And here's the crazy part. The thing that makes shields so misunderstood, their real contribution is completely invisible on the scoreboard. When your shield absorbs a massive hit, that number doesn't show up anywhere. Not in your healing, not in the enemy's damage stats. Its value is in the death that didn't happen, and the scoreboard can't measure that. So, despite our best efforts with mitigation and shields, some damage is going to get through. It's just inevitable. Now it's time to heal. But here's the thing, not all healing stats are created equal, and we gotta use the right math for the right situation. So when it comes to healing, you've got 4 main stats you can focus on. Healing done, spell damage, crit chance, and your resource pool, like your max magicka. But which one is best? Well, let's look at the data for a couple of different scenarios. For those slow, steady heal over time abilities, the HOTS that you keep ticking on your team, the math is crystal clear. Stacking the healing done percentage gives you the absolute best and most consistent results. It seriously outperforms the other stats for this job. But, and this is a big but, what about that panic moment where your teammate's health bar just plummets to 10%? For that one massive, life-saving heal, the math completely flips. Investing in critical chance gives you the highest potential burst heal. This is what creates those clutch plays that turn a fight around. So there's no single best stat, right? It's all about the situation. You use healing done to handle that long sustained pressure, and you rely on crit chance to save someone from getting blown up. The best players know which tool to pull out at exactly the right moment. All right, time to put all the pieces together. This isn't about choosing one tool over another. It's about layering them all into a single, cohesive, and really powerful strategy. This slide lays out the whole game plan. Step 1, mitigate as much damage as you can from the start. Step 2, use your shields to block the big telegraphed hits. And finally, step 3,
Use the right kind of healing to efficiently top off anyone who still took damage. It's a complete defensive system.
So, ultimately, this whole shields versus heals debate, it totally misses the point. It's not a competition. A truly great support player is like an architect, building a complete defensive system that uses every single tool, mitigation, shields, and heals, to make their team impossible to kill. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you just reacting to damage as it comes in, chasing health bars and scoreboard numbers? Or are you playing a step ahead, designing a system that makes your team incredibly tough to take down? The answer is what separates the good players from the truly great ones. Thanks for watching.